Hello, everybody. How you doing? I had to talk to you today about a couple of things. It's what is it? The 24th of March. It's a Monday, and a lot went on over the weekend. I didn't really have a time to do a show, but I did want to get back with you because a lot has been going on that's just beyond anything I've ever seen in my life. I say that over and over again. Isn't that weird? This it's funny how this particular time in history seems to be, and I think you probably would all agree, probably something that you would have never guessed was going to happen. Probably you would never have thought would ever happen. You would have never planned for it. You couldn't have. You couldn't have seen this coming. The things that are happening right now are just beyond the pale of anything I've seen in my lifetime. It and I was talking to a friend of mine the other night. I'm beginning to think that COVID had a lot to do with this. I remember distinctly saying that if you think things were screwed up prior to COVID, wait until wait a few years until until this pandemic is over, because it seems like it's exacerbated mental illness. It really has. If anybody had mental illness in the back of their head, maybe hiding away somewhere in the recesses of their brain, if they had any possibility that that could happen, I think it all came out during COVID. I really do, because insanity is running wild in this country. Mental illness is off the charts. I've never seen anything like this. Critical thinking's all out the window. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable what's going on. So, what I want to talk to you about today, and that has something to do with what I want to talk to you about today, because what I'm about to tell you, you will not think that it's possible. What I'm about to present to you. Now, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying that it's absolutely going to happen, but I can usually tell what someone's going to do by their actions prior to them actually pulling the trigger on something. Now, the question here is, and I know this is early. But they say when, for instance, in 2024, Donald Trump got elected. So when did the campaign for the 2028 election start? Well, it started on November 6th, the day after the election. It always does. People start vying. They start looking at their possibilities. They're checking the chessboard to see what pieces are going to be moved around the chessboard. So we've got a whole big group. Now this is definitely on the Democratic side, because I think, barring anything unforeseen, that J.D. Vance is probably going to be the Republican nominee for 2028. Now that is saying, and I've heard rumors. Steve Bannon was one of them that's brought it up. He thinks that Donald Trump is going to attempt to circumvent the the amendment that states you can only be president twice. It doesn't say consecutive, so there's some legal issues here that maybe he's right. He's saying that Donald Trump is going to try and get a third term. That's what he's saying. Now, is that true? I don't know. I think in Great Britain, the bettors, the wagers, the gambling, the odds, the bookies are saying that there's a 20% chance that could happen. Now, I know it's early, but it is interesting that could even be brought up. So you could actually bet today on the fact that Donald Trump is going to, be able to run for a third, well, not consecutive, but a third election cycle. He could be. Is that possible? I don't think it is, but it's interesting to talk about. Anyway, what I'm getting at is, who is running for president in 2028? Who do you think it would be? What's your best guess in the Democratic Party? I mean, Gavin Newsom obviously is the one that's going to be one of them. He's setting the stage for that right now. He started this podcast which I think it's kind of an insult to the Californians, if you ask me. It's the fifth largest economy in the world. It's in a free fall. Homelessness is out of control. Crime is out of control. People are leaving in droves. He's got some serious issues in California. He's the governor of California. Wouldn't you think it would be better if you were a taxpayer and you elected him? Wouldn't you think it'd be better in your eyes if the man is in office 24/7 rather than doing a podcast? Because I can tell you right now, doing a podcast is not the easiest thing in the world. I don't care if you got producers and you got people working for you. It doesn't matter. You still have to spend probably a couple hours of your day to do this. I know it takes me that long sometimes to do a show. Now, am I being unfair to him? Does he, does he have the right to do this? Absolutely, he does. Because I know what he's doing. He's having people from the conservative wing of the Republican Party, the people in the middle, for the most part. I think he had Charlie Kirk on there the other day. Very interesting interview. I would love to talk to Gavin Newsom. I would. I mean, if you haven't seen one of his podcasts, you really should, because he's big on the hand motions and his shoulders do this. He's the creepiest dude I've ever seen, but he's got everything going for him. He's got a great look. He's got great hair. He's tall. He's young. He's a former governor, or will be a former governor. He's got a lot going for him, despite the fact that he's run California into the ground. And he has. They're going to be decades recovering from this. He's corrupt. I think he's a sexual deviant. I've said this before. I'll say it again. If you were casting for a role in a movie that you were making and you wanted someone to play the part of Satan in our time, that's the guy you would pick. It really is. Gavin Newsom fits all the criteria. That great smile. He's a liar from beginning to end, but he's running for president. He is. This podcast is a way for him to get out there on a daily basis and, grease the skids a little bit. See what happens. Yeah, I really think that he is absolutely the guy that would be, I would think he would probably be the number one choice. Oh, by the way, this t-shirt I'm wearing, just for the record, I have about 10 of these. I worked for FedEx Express or FedEx Freight for several years. I'm not wearing the same shirt over and over again. I just want to make sure you're aware of that, because I bathe daily, but this is not the same shirt I wear all the time. I've got about 10 of these, so they just fit very well. They good quality t-shirts. So anyway, just want to make sure that was clear. I don't want you to think I'm stinking up the place. So Gavin Newsom again, probably. I think Kamala Harris will probably run for his governorship. I really believe she's probably going to try and be governor of California. And judging by her, I guess her election results during the presidential campaign and how she did in California, she could probably win. I don't know why anyone would want her around to be in charge of anything. I don't think she's going to be in the race for president in 2020 yet. I really don't. I think she pretty much spent that capital she had. I don't think that's going to happen again. California, completely different setup. That's pretty much her backyard. She may do well. I don't know. I pity California if she does get elected, because nothing good will come from that. It just won't. By the way, whatever happened to the fires in California, in LA and all that? Have we heard anything else about that? Have they started construction? What about the mayor? I tell you what, the mainstream media just drops these things like a hot potato. I haven't heard anything in the last 3 or 4 weeks about anything going on out there. Is construction started? I have heard that BlackRock's in there trying to buy a property in cash. Now, that doesn't surprise me. And the mayor, from what I understand, is they've hired an outside architect or company to, I guess, manufacture or design a 15-minute city of some kind. So it leads you to believe, I think, again, and I'm not saying this is absolutely 100% true, but it sounds like this was all orchestrated because the media dropped it immediately. Well, I haven't heard a word about it. And it's still fire season. What happened? Are there any fires in California at the moment? Does anyone know? Has anyone been arrested? Do we know what caused it? We don't know anything. Mainstream media in the United States and journalism is dead. It's amazing. They will drop something so quickly. That's why these people don't have a problem with being corrupt at all. Politicians know. They know, hey, okay, I'll take some heat for a couple of weeks and then it'll just go away. Of course it will, because you're not going to jail. No one's going to jail. I don't know if the Trump administration is going to arrest anyone. I'm very disappointed in that. That's another whole different topic that I'd love to talk about. And you know what? We're going to talk about it right now because it pisses me off to no end that they have not arrested someone at this point. We've been in office for over 2 months. And I know you got your hands full, but you got people working for you, Don. Come on. Have somebody arrested. I want somebody in chains. I don't care who it is. I want one person arrested. And I'm not talking about some guy down the ladder, the corporate ladder. I'm not talking about some flunky that was working somewhere that got arrested for God knows what. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a main player. Why is Hillary Clinton not in jail? Why is Adam Schiff not in jail? Why is Elizabeth Warren not in jail for fraud? Why not? Why is this? Why are we not arresting someone? I want somebody in jail. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking a lot. I think it's great that the Department of Education is going to be a thing of the past. I think USAID being done away with is fantastic. These deportations. I know that the lunatic left and the judges are the left-leaning judges, people appointed by Biden and Obama, are fighting this tooth and nail. But I think at the end of the day, they're going to lose that. And that's great. We need these people gone. Self-deportation is becoming a thing. I think that's excellent. These people are saying, you know what, instead of going through this, I'm going to go back home and I'm going to go through the paperwork process and do that. We're going to talk about that too. Maybe not in this video, but another one. My point is this. I want someone arrested. I want someone to have to face the music. Because if you don't, that Bass, the LA mayor, total loser, completely incompetent. She survived a couple of weeks of bad press, moved along. Situation normal, no problem at all. That shouldn't be that way. We actually have right now, we have people in Congress threatening the president of the United States' life. Not directly, but indirectly. Innuendo. Jasmine Crockett's one of them. She should be arrested for things she said. I want people in jail. I want there to be some consequences. I really do. Okay, so back to the president. It's not going to be it's not going to be Kamala Harris. Gavin Newsom's probably out the front runner. Tim Walz was on TV the last couple of days. I think he shot his wad. He's an idiot. To listen to him talk, to listen to the governor of Minnesota. What were you thinking in Minnesota, folks? What were you thinking? How did this guy get to this position? He's an idiot. And I'm not saying because of his belief system. I'm just talking about him presenting himself on TV. Rachel Maddow and MSNBC, who couldn't be more in his back pocket. They love people on the left. They had to take him off the air after 2 questions because he was so stupid. They said, okay, that's enough of that. Well, yeah, that's exactly right. What do we got? Kamala and him were a perfect pair, a match made in heaven. They're both idiots. So I guess Mr. Walz is going to go back to Minnesota and hope to God that he can get reelected, I guess. I mean, his career in politics may be over at this point. I mean, he doesn't present himself as very competent. Just when he walks out onto a stage, he looks like he's completely lost. So I don't think he's going to be it. Gavin Newsom. How about Gretchen Whitmer from Michigan, the governor of Michigan? What do you think about her? I don't think she has a face for it. I really don't. COVID was a disaster for her. That'll be brought up left and right. I think she'll run. I think she'll be part of the. I think she may even make it to Super Tuesday. She might. I'm not saying I'm counting her completely out, but I think she's probably going to be one of the people who are considering a run in 2028. Kathy Hochul from New York, the New York governor. She's had some press lately, none of it good, but I don't think that matters. She's from New York. She's a Maine hardcore lefty. She's a woman. She checks all the boxes. That would be another one. The one I'm going to bring up next is the one that I think is probably the next two are probably the most viable. Okay. And what I'm about to say, what the name I'm going to bring up here, you are going to think that I've lost my mind. And I don't blame you. But the times we are living in right now, you will understand why I'm saying this, okay? First of all, this person is so incompetent. And the fact that this person got to a position that they're in today tells me more about the state of democracy and the state of our country than anything else. And I think you know who I'm talking about. I think at the back of your mind, you know who I'm bringing up. I'm bringing up Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, the leader of the squad, and apparently the leader of the Liberal Party today, the Democratic Party. Folks, it's not Chuck Schumer. He thinks he is. He's trying to be. But the other day I saw him in an interview. He said he's really the only reason he's there, that the Democrats right now, their only focus is basically what he said, is to do everything in response to Trump. In other words, to fight him every step of the way. They didn't say anything about their constituency. They didn't say anything about the price of gas, nothing. They're saying their main purpose in life right now is to go against Trump, 100%. I couldn't believe he said it. He's not a leader. Nancy Pelosi threw him under the bus the other day. So who do you got? Who do you have? Who do you have that's charismatic? Chuck Schumer's not charismatic. He's not. That's why he never ran for president. The guy's he's white toast. He's terrible. He found his niche, and that is to be a senator, which is quite an accomplishment. And he's made his money illicitly, of course. They all do. And to think that they're not being held accountable for that is just being honestly, this is not what I voted for. I voted for most of this with Donald Trump. I still love the guy. I love the premise that he is putting out there. I love the plan that he's putting out there. I love it. I really do. But I want somebody to answer for this. How do you come up with how do you accumulate this kind of wealth? I think that should be a question that should be answered. Call me wacky, but I mean, the IRS would want to know if I had $10 million in the bank and I had no place to show where it came from. They would be on my ass. They would say, "Hey, where did you get this money?" You can't just say, "Well, I deposited $1,000 in cash for 6 years in a row." You can't do that. They want to know where that money came from. Same thing with this. Chuck Schumer makes what, $175,000 a year, and you're worth $24 million? How'd that work? But anyway, I digress, and I know that's a real pain in my ass. It really is. But we're back to Ocasio-Cortez. Okay, I'm gonna show you a picture. This is in Denver, Colorado. This is why I know she's running for election. Denver, Colorado. What business does she have to be in Denver, Colorado? She has no constituency there. She's from New York. Her constituency, consists of about 10 square blocks down in Manhattan. That's it. That's it. And I don't even know if it's that big. It's tiny. Very small congressional district. But she's there with Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders. They're in Denver, Colorado, and apparently, from what they're saying, now what they're trying to sell me is that they had this rally. It's called the I think it's a rally against. No, what was it? She's got a. Hang on, just a second.
For us, that means
Fight oligarchy. That's it. Fight oligarchy. That was the name of the rally. And they say, now they're telling you, if you listen to the left and the mainstream media, they're saying 34,000 people showed up to this rally. I don't think that's true. I mean, judging from what I've seen of the pictures and stuff from the air, it might be around 20,000 people. But here's the funny thing. Someone went out and did a GPS study on this, a cell phone data study, and they said that 84% of the phones at the AOC/Bernie rally had gone to at least 9 or more Kamala Harris rallies, or an Antifa rally, or a pro-Hamas rally, or a pro-Palestinian rally. And they said 31% of them had attended 20 or more of these events. So this is basically manufactured. This crowd was manufactured for this. They want you to believe there's this huge, overwhelming support for the Democratic Party and the liberal, especially the radical left, that somehow or other that they're a force to be reckoned with. So basically, what they did was they hired these people to come in here. These are hired thugs. It's I think it's called what is it? Rent a Crowd. I think there's actually a website with that on it, where you can call up and say, hey, I need 30,000 people or 10,000 people or whatever in an event. And they'll say, okay, this is how much it's going to cost. We'll have them there. These are professional. These are paid people to be there. I'm not saying it was all that way, but I guarantee you if it was Bernie Sanders and AOC out there and they didn't have this kind of backing and the money to do this, there might be a couple hundred people there at the rally. But they couldn't do that. So they had to make sure there were going to be a huge crowds there. All this was funded by Act Blue as well, from what I understand. Now, AOC just got caught, if I understand, and from what I'm reading, she got caught employing illegals on her congressional staff. That's going to be an issue too. But this woman is running for president. She really is. We have got some. If I would have never guessed in all my days on this planet that this little pixie would be in a position to run for president. Now, what they're saying is right now. Now, of course, we're still in 2025. We got plenty of time. What they're saying is she's going to make a run for Chuck Schumer's position, his seat in the Senate, because right now she's just a congressman. And I will say she's a cute gal, but she's a complete lunatic. She is. She's cute. She checks, she's a female, so she checks several boxes. And she does have a following. There's no doubt about it. But so did Manson. And so did, this what is this, Mangione that killed that United Healthcare CEO? He's got a following too. That doesn't mean anything. Mental illness is rampant in the United States. So you can get people to latch on to things. AOC is a complete airhead. I mean, she's embarrassing. She's so bad. And the fact that she can get even this close to running for president. Now, the thing that scares me about her is the guy that's standing beside her. Bernie Sanders, he brings something to the table nobody else does. And how I want to explain this is, you remember the Reagan days, depending on how old you are. Reagan came in. He was basically an actor who ran for governor in California. Next thing you know, he's president of the United States. How did he do so well? Why did he do well and Donald Trump didn't in his first? He did great, but I mean, he was pretty much, he was pretty much shooting in the dark. He was walking around lost half the time because he didn't have a Jim Baker. Jim Baker in the Reagan administration was your go-to guy. He knew how Washington worked. He knew who to talk to. He knew how to talk to them. He knew how to get things done. Now, you'll notice they're hand in hand here. Bernie Sanders and AOC. Bernie Sanders, if he lives long enough, will be Ocasio-Cortez's Jim Baker. Say what you want about Bernie Sanders. He's had the same ideas since first time I heard about him. I mean, he's as corrupt as they come. He's been bought off. There's no doubt about it. And they treated him like shit in the 2016 election. They kicked him to the side like, yesterday's newspaper. But at the end of the day, he knew how to get things done. He knows how the system works in Washington. I'm telling you, this is a force to be reckoned right here. And it scares me to death. Now they're going to be up probably against J.D. Vance, or if Steve Bannon's right, possibly Donald Trump again. Will they win? No. I don't think that's it at the end of the day. I think she's going to try and run for Chuck Schumer's job so she can accumulate a war chest, is what I think. That's what I'm thinking. Now, I want you to listen to this speech she gave. Now, by the way, I want you to look at the lectern she's on, and the sign on it. It says, you won't believe what it says. Listen to this.
Each and every.
It says, fight oligarchy. What does that mean? Shouldn't that say fight the oligarchy? I mean, I'm just saying, if you got people on your staff, that's what it should say, not fight oligarchy. It should be fight the oligarchy. But again, just a side note. Again, I want to make sure I'm clear on this. These campaigns are run by idiots. The people that run these things are young with no experience. They haven't a clue what they're doing, and this is a good example of it. But anyway, I want you to listen to this. This woman is the woman who they think, I believe, is probably going to be running for president. Listen to this.
It's harder for us to.
That means our communities, each and every one of us, choosing and voting for Democrats and elected officials who know how to stand for the working class. I want to give you your flowers for a second, because you all have been working overtime to make that happen.
It's harder for us to.
Okay. What the hell did that even mean? She's talking about the working class. The Democrats are not the party of the working class anymore. Did you know that they have twice as many billionaires who are supporters of the party than the Republicans do? They're a party of the elite. Hollywood loves them. That couldn't be more untrue, what she just said. But those people are buying it, or at least they're acting like they are. That's what they're doing. They're acting like it. They're paid to be paid actors to be at a place and do what they're told. It's exactly what it is. There's no. It's like being paid to show up for work. Actually, yeah, you're being paid so much an hour to do A, B, or C. You do that, you go home, you get paid. Same thing here. And these people are loons too, by the way. Some of the people that they got to do this, listen to this stuff. Listen to this.
Verbiage and her scenario about saying that Venezuelan gang members have taken over the city of Aurora and it's not safe.
You don't think there are Venezuelan gangs in Aurora?
There might be one or two, 3 or 4 members, but they're hardworking people.
What about?
Did you hear what he said? They're hardworking people, the Venezuelan gang members. This is somebody that was at the rally. And by the way, the Danielle he's talking about is the mayor of Aurora, I believe. But nonetheless, it doesn't matter.
Those guys with the long guns going about.
It was hype.
Was it a fake video?
It was 4 or 5 bad. No, it ended up being a true and factual video. But
there are gangs
used for hype. I think it was used for hype.
Trump is a fucking idiot, okay?
I think he's trying to.
No.
Free, don't you think?
Fucking idiot, okay? He's basically a second grader, All right. If you've listened to anything he said, okay, over his entire career, he's literally a primary school mentality.
Folks, I don't know what to say about that. These are the people that are at this rally. Some of the most hateful. Continue listening.
I don't believe that racists should hold office. So first and foremost, if you have an opinion that your race is better than, or for some reason has some sort of spiritual or cosmic preference or elevation over another race, that's wrong. And I don't support or believe in you. So right now, the person who is the president does believe that their race is better than, is supreme, whatever.
You heard Donald Trump say white people are supreme?
I have heard Donald Trump support many racist.
They have no clue what they're talking about. They're operating from a level of emotion, and that's it. Nothing intellectual, nothing factual. This is an AM radio. It's a talk radio from, I believe, Denver, Colorado, that is just going around randomly talking to people that are at this rally, and this is what they're getting. This keep listening. This is some great stuff.
Policies.
Excuse me, can I ask you about the stickers you were putting on the police officers' cars? It was a pig sticker. Do you believe police officers are pigs? No? Do you want to talk?
I believe you have no content. So
no, I saw you put stickers on the police cars about calling them pigs. No, I saw you walk right by and put it there. I saw you do it.
You didn't see anything.
Oh, so you weren't doing it. You don't have stickers in your hands?
I don't have anything in my hand.
Yeah, no.
You weird, goofy, right-wing, conspiratorial radio talk show.
710? Yeah, 710.
Man,
yeah.
AM radio. You're doing great.
Yeah. Do you believe that pig police officer?
Cops, all that shit. Fuck you. All that bullshit. There's your soundbite, you little weird internet troll. There goes your YouTube.
He's coming back.
You're not even here for the speech. You're just here to photograph cops and argue on behalf of police officers.
I was just wondering what stickers you put on there. Do you believe?
Do you chase me down and talking shit to me?
No, I was just wondering. Do you believe police officers? Do you believe police officers?
Aren't they a pleasant group? Isn't he pleasant? He's the kind of guy you want to be have as a friend. Really, he's so brave. He's got a mask on so that you can't recognize who he is, and he can't even defend what he's doing. I mean, if you're going to do something like that, at least own it. At least fess up to it. Say, yeah, I believe that cops are pigs. Say that. He doesn't even have the guts to do that. Oh, these people are so pathetic. Yeah, anyway, that's just one of them. Let me show you another one here. That was pretty interesting.
Vance or his ilk out of power is having tens of.
Hang on just
Fucker, where's your 10-gallon fake hat?
All that shit. Fuck you. All that bullshit. There's your soundbite, you little weird internet troll.
My sign says, if you want to know how fascism ends, ask Benito Mussolini.
And they hung him, right?
Yep, they hung him by his feet from a lamppost. That's exactly what every fascist deserves. The only good fascist is a dead fascist.
Now, are you calling for that to happen to our president right now?
I believe that the minute that Donald Trump decided to start ignoring judicial orders, he gave up the right to be the rightful president of the United States. He's an enemy of the nation, and yes, I'd like to see him hung by his feet by a lamppost. So I'm kind of sick and tired of all these Democrats running around talking about, here's what we're going to do to win. Motherfucker, they're not going to let you take office. The only way we're getting Donald Trump or J.D. Vance or his ilk out of power is having tens of millions in people in the streets.
I'm just curious, what do you mean by J.D. Vance and his ilk? Do you have any idea what he was talking about? I don't understand these people at any level. I really don't. There's even a worse one here. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Some of the hateful. Oh yeah, this one, you're gonna love this. Where is this? Okay, let's
the same way when they threatened like Alito and Kavanaugh and the rest of the folks.
I don't know what you're talking about.
This picture right here happened under Biden.
Yeah, These people are so stupid.
My suggestion,
we have
telling them to stop funding Israel. So tell me what your shirt says.
Says abortion is healthcare. So
Help me understand what you mean by abortion is healthcare, because it seems to be the death of a child, doesn't it?
No, I'm a nurse.
When does life begin?
I think life begins more so when a baby can actually survive in the NICU, which, I mean, for the most part, usually isn't until at least like 22, 23 weeks.
Okay, which is it, 22 or 23? Just curious. Just curious. Now, this is a nurse. This is someone who provides medical care for human beings. And she has an opinion like this. Folks, this is really scary. I don't know how else to put this. There's something wrong with people today. I think we all feel it. I think we all see it. It happens on a daily basis. I feel like, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie. Let's see, what was that movie? They Live. Have you ever seen that movie where you put it's an old one, it's from the 80s. You put the glasses on, you could see the truth, and you could see all the lies that were being told. Everything became clear. I feel like that's what the world I'm living in right now. This woman is a nurse, and she's entitled to her opinion. I'm not saying this, she's not, but at least make it make sense. So listen to the rest of this.
Before that, I mean, I'm all for having like a restriction at a certain time because, I mean, in some states it's, you know, somebody's who less than 10 weeks pregnant can't get an abortion. At that point, some women don't even know you're pregnant.
Show me a woman at 10 weeks that doesn't know they're pregnant. I don't think that exists. I really don't. But that's just me. I'm not a nurse, okay? Kind of like Ketanji Brown said, right? Ketanji Brown, Supreme Court Justice, when she in her confirmation hearing, they asked what was a woman, and she said, "I don't know. I'm not a biologist." I swear to God, I'm living in a topsy-turvy world. But listen to the rest of this.
Is there a moment then that abortion doesn't become health care?
I mean, I think if a baby is like fully developed, first of all, if the baby is going to survive.
You know what they do? They hang that Confederated flag, that red, white, and blue.
It's okay. Red, white, and blue?
It's Confederated.
Confederated.
Illuminati.
On
the money.
Do you want to get money out of politics?
Okay.
Do I want to get Elon Musk out of politics? Yeah, the world's richest man, the most influential in history, is now calling the shots.
What has he done that really bothers you?
He's arrogant, drugged up, naive.
60 years, USAID, billions of dollars.
It makes no sense what this guy said. This man came to a rally, and he has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. When pressed and asked directly, what do you have a problem with Elon Musk about? He can't answer it. He tells me he's arrogant. Really? So that's the criteria now for being thrown out of office is because you're arrogant? And he's not even in office. They're saying that he's the one running the show now. That's not true. It makes no sense. He's the one finding all the waste. He's the one in charge of Doge. They're finding the waste. What's wrong with that? And that's what this guy asked. Hang on.
Do you think it made an impact in the world?
You know,
Kind of cool. They're out there. They're in there. They're really out.
Tell me what your sign says.
I love it.
It's just, we're a country in distress. I feel like we're under siege, and we're in danger of losing our democracy. We're running under a kakistocracy.
A kakistocracy. I don't know. Could you look that up for me? I don't know what that is. What is a kakistocracy? These people walk around in daily lives. These people probably have children, probably have grandchildren. They look old enough. What is this? I know I'm not the only one seeing this. And I mean, there are people out there who are Democrats who I can have a conversation with. I know a lot of them. These aren't one of them. These are not some of those people. This is lunacy. Listen to the rest of this. This woman is absolutely... He's going to ask some direct questions to her. And she should be able to answer these. They're pretty simple questions. They're not detailed. It's just you can't believe what she's about to say. Listen to this.
Tell me what you think they've done that leads you to believe our country's in distress.
Just getting rid of the Department of Education, for one. There's hundreds of things that have been done recently.
What about getting rid of the Department of Education concerns you?
Okay. So she said there's hundreds of things that have disturbed her about this. And he brings up the Department of Education, which she brought it up as well. Okay, then explain that to me. What is bad about disbanding and getting rid of the Department of Education? Okay, I'll listen to this.
Don't we have an obligation to teach our young and build a better, healthier society?
Trump and others would say we've spent $3 trillion on the Department of Education. They don't actually teach anybody. It's more of kind of a bureaucratic institution.
That's his opinion.
School, but it doesn't run any schools. It doesn't pay any teacher salaries. So we spent $3 trillion there, and the grades and the scores of the kids haven't gotten any better.
So throw the baby out with the bathwater?
They want to take it back to the states.
The states already handle education.
Yeah.
I mean,
the states already do. So why do we need a federal entity to do that?
There's things that the department does in terms of teacher education and coordinating education.
Doing a $3 trillion over the years.
What do we pay our football players? I mean, come on.
But that's not taxpayer dollars, though, isn't it? Want Danielle Jurinsky out in Aurora?
Part of the Three Stooges, they got to get rid of.
Okay, here's the deal. And I got to tell you, I don't. It's kind of embarrassing. It truly is. That somebody would not be able to defend their position. They put a sign together. They probably drove an hour to be there. And they can't answer a simple question like that. We have got some serious issues in this country. It's just fortunate that right now there are at least a few people out there with the ability to think on their own. This is just random people. This was an AM radio station guy. This guy that was at 710 in Denver was nothing. This wasn't a setup. These people weren't predestined to be here. It wasn't like he chose them. This was random. You could tell. They had absolutely no clue. These are the people who are going to vote for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. These are the people that think she would do a better job, obviously, because you're in a rally. I'm a fervent believer in Donald Trump, and I've never been to one of his rallies. So these people actually believe this. And they went to this rally. Couldn't answer questions, have absolutely no idea what they're doing there. But they think she would do a better job, obviously. They think the Democrats would do a better job. They're operating from a level of emotion. It's ridiculous. Now, back to our discussion here about who is going to run for president in 2028. I think the guy, and I say the guy, that makes the most sense at this point, because we've gone through Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, Kathy Holcomb, Governor Walz from, Tampon Timmy. I think the guy that would make the most sense, and I think this is a person I believe will win the nomination at the end of the day. And that's John Fetterman, the senator from Pennsylvania. Now you've got a Shapiro in that group too. Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania. I don't think he's a Jew. I don't think he would get the nod. I just don't. And I'm not trying to be racist. I just don't think that would happen. So you got John Fetterman. The brain dead. I mean, obviously he had brain injuries. I don't think it's the same guy. You can disagree with me, but if you see pictures of him before his surgery or before his issue and after, and the fact that he couldn't even utter a sentence. He had to use the machine during the debate. And then all of a sudden he just comes out of that. It doesn't work that way. From what I understand, when I ask people in the medical field, that usually doesn't happen that way. That's like a miracle. So I think it's a different guy, but it doesn't matter. Let's just say it's John Fetterman for the sake of argument. I think that's the guy. He has an authenticity about him. He's authentic. He's a slob, but the thing is, he dresses like most people when they go uptown today. I think if he feels this is what he needs to do, and he thinks that he's got an opportunity, I think he's got the best shot out of all of them. John Fetterman. I really do. Now, it's going to be a battle, obviously. There'll be primaries. But when the dust settles, I think John Fetterman will be the guy running. I really do. I really do. He's starting to move more towards the center. He's criticized the Democrats in the past, and they fully deserved it to be criticized. He's moving back towards the center. It's making sense. Could I vote for a guy like John Fetterman? Maybe. I'm not saying I wouldn't. Could I vote for any of these other people? AOC included? Not a chance. Not a single chance. So John Fetterman, because he dresses like somebody that's going to a softball game, he's authentic. I'll give him that. He makes sense. He's using some common sense. I think it's a possibility. I really do. So anyway, that's all I got for you today. I just wanted to put that out there because it's been bothering me here the last few days, and I just woke up in the middle of the night one night thinking, they may try that. They may try. AOC may be going to make a run, and I think mainly it's going to be for money, because as you well know, and if you don't, you will hear in just a second. Whatever money you accumulate during your campaign, if you don't win, you get to keep it. So I think between her and Bernie, this may be a grift, is what it is. I don't think she would have any shot at it. But the fact that she's even in this position at all, it just scares me to death. But I think John Fetterman's probably going to be the guy. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, that's all I got for you today, folks. Thanks for listening. And if you get a chance, if you haven't already, please subscribe, and I appreciate it. That's all I got. Peace out.